looking deep down the left side. Mendeville into the end zone. Touchdown!
Down the sidelines for 40, to the house.
And the players streaming from the sideline to celebrate with 17 seconds left.
Well, welcome into BVarsity Live again, everybody. I'll flip that behind me. There you go. Trevor's going to... I do not always do that.
You do that 2 out of 3 weeks.
Lies. Lies, damn lies, and
Frank Gifford
statistics.
says, yes, you do.
I happen to believe in statistics, by the way. We have... it's championship week. Trevor may not be acting like it. You need to get on your game, my friend. But it's championship week. And we have some championship material in the house. We have Ridgeview first. We have Liberty second. They're both playing for championships this weekend. Steve Tucker and Timmy Lelea and Rudy Cruz are in the house. I'm sorry,
Alace.
Rudy Alace. Am I pronouncing that right?
Rudy Alas.
Alice. Rudy
You're
Alice.
thinking Ruben Cruz.
I'm thinking Ruben Cruz. Are in
He's got
the
a couple
house.
more years till he shows up.
And Coach, longtime defensive coordinator, has been at Ridgeview since 1994, the year that it opened. And then Timmy and Rudy, you guys have been around, for 4 years now, and you know the game. And you guys were champions last year in Division II, beating Dinuba, and you get to face Lemoore in a couple of nights, Friday night, for another title, and an undefeated season this time. Let me ask you. I'm going to start with you, Timmy. What's different this year than maybe it was last year? Now that you guys are defending champions, you're undefeated. That target on your back is a little bit bigger, I think.
Well, it's a little different because, now we're kind of used to the groove that we're getting into. There's not one situation that we haven't been in or one thing we haven't seen going into every game. So.
Right. Rudy, is the confidence level different this year?
The confidence level, I would say it's maybe better. I would say it's better because the coaching has just been much harder. They've been making us train much more. That's been giving us the confidence, in our head to keep going and keep striving. So with that said, with all the games we faced, I believe the confidence has gotten much better.
Yeah, and Coach, you've been at Ridgeview in times when this sort of thing would be unheard of. I mean, not only being in a title game, but being in 5 straight title games and going for a second straight championship and a third in 5 years. And what has this ride been like for you, not just from the beginning of Ridgeview, but especially these last 5 years?
It's been really exciting. We've been blessed. We've gotten some great kids in, and Coach Manning brought a great philosophy and to our program, and because of that, I think the combination of the two things, we've really been able to have a lot of success these last 5 years, especially. But it started almost as soon as he got there. I mean, we, started in going to playoffs and doing a little bit better every year, and now we've been to this game 5 years in a row.
Hard to believe.
Steve, for you, I mean, obviously, you guys love to play as many players as possible on one side of the ball, but that was the biggest issue for you guys on the offensive line. You guys had to replace 4 to 5 starters, Justin James, going down the line, those type of guys. When you looked at the 2 guys that really would have to play both sides of the ball, one of them being Timmy right next to you and Chase Mears being the other one, for you, confidence level knowing that these guys, that they're probably going to play more snaps than anybody else on the football team. Just talk about that decision and, just how great it's been for you over the last 13 weeks.
Well, it was a long, hard-fought decision. Coach Bandy and I went back and forth because I wanted them both on defense because they were my most experienced defensive players coming back.
Right.
But in the end, it came down. We just really needed them to play offense because we did lose so many players from last year's team. But knowing the type of players they are and the type of individuals they are, I knew that they would be the type that would rise to the occasion, and we've tried to spot play them as much as possible on defense, and they've both, really come along and really been great contributors to how we are right now, that 13 weeks.
Timmy, for you, which side of the ball are you more comfortable on? Obviously, I'm guessing it's going to be the defensive side of the ball, but you like being able to make one quick block and maybe see Darius just kind of blur up on you.
Yeah, definitely. Defense is where my passion lies. I was a little skeptical about playing offense for the whole year, but when you're blocking for Lawrence, Darius, Jamar, Prevost, and all of them, it gets a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big play from the best seat in the house, I think, from behind it when you sprung the block. So this weekend, Lemoore, the Division II, very deep this year, very good. You guys saw a good team last week in Sunnyside and really just kind of dismissed them. Lemore's a very good team, probably even another level than Sunnyside. What have you guys seen on film, Rudy, that will challenge you this weekend, and how do you think you'll deal with it?
The biggest thing on film that I've seen this week so far has been the quarterback rollout. And with the quarterback rollout, it takes a big responsibility to contain him on the outside, because one little slip, he has the talent to be gone. And if not, then I believe it's a big possibility we could shut it down as long as we have the QB rollout.
How about you, Timmy? On the offensive side of the ball, let's talk about what you see from Lemore's defense.
Well, their defense, they like to blitz a lot, and like they try to disguise it. So you just have to watch more film and make sure we know which blitz come in, their tendencies, and know when they show it.
Coach, you mentioned a couple of things sort of happened at the same time to spark this run. Coach Manning and his staff came in, and look, talent helps too, right? I mean, you get some talent in. Is it fair to say the talent was always there? You needed a coach to bring it out. As a holdover on the staff, did Manning and his crew that came in do something different than what was being done previously to sort of bring that out of the woodwork?
I'm not sure if I think it was they were a little bit more, I don't know, not personable, but kids started staying. Mm-hmm. And obviously we became more successful, and then the more success you have, the more kids want to stay.
Snowballs in a good way.
Snowball.
Yeah.
So basically the kids that we used to have that might leave when we were less successful are now staying. So just keeping our own kids has made a huge difference in our success.
How about you guys? What's it like to play for Coach Manning and Coach Bandy and Coach Tucker and the rest of the crew?
Oh, it's great because it doesn't only prepare you for on the field, but it helps you learn discipline off the field, because they're a very disciplinary group, and they make sure we do everything to the perfect, till we get it perfectly. So we strive for perfection.
How about you, Rudy?
I'd say he said it all right there.
All right. Do you allow yourselves, and I'm sure Coach wouldn't like it if you did, but to look past this, last year your run ended at the regional round of state. If you win here, you know you're going back. There's all sorts of things that Trevor and I can talk about later that you could end up playing Liberty again or Clovis in the state championship game.
You could play at Sac State, or you could play at BC, or somewhere in between. That's the thing about this, the way the new system is. You win and you're in.
Yeah, is anything in the next couple of weeks in your guys' head as far as playing a regional game or state game, or are you able to completely focus on Friday?
Well, our main focus right now is Lemoore. We're going to try not to look too far ahead. It's tempting, but you got to just stay disciplined.
Coach, are you having to preach to that end?
No, this group had been really focused since day one on our goal and objectives. And right now, Lemoore this Friday to win the section title is our goal. And after whatever happens there, then we'll worry about the next game. But right now, we're all focused on this Friday against Lemoore.
Steve, kind of pinpoint for our viewers here that are watching, a guy like Lawrence White, who's the quarterback on your offense, but and Zach and I really saw it last year against Rev, that he as a cornerback was really the cornerstone for your defense and the big playmaker for you. And just talk about what he is for you defensively and what he can do even at the next level, obviously with Iowa State, recruiting him as a defensive back.
Well, our two corners, both Lawrence and Jalen Prevost on the other side, give us a lot of flexibility on defense. Their ability to play man-to-man and lock people down frees us up to do things with our safeties and our linebackers. He's an outstanding young man. He's worked really hard. He struggles with not being just a full-time defensive guy. But his value to our team is immeasurable. But he's also been a good leader, and I can't think of one negative if I tried. And whoever gets him next year is going to get a great young man.
I've got one negative on Lawrence. He needs to learn and tell his employer no sometimes, because him working on Black Friday till 4:30 in the afternoon before a section semifinal game, he needs to understand when not to work and when to work.
Hey, when you work in retail, man, Black Friday is the section championship game.
Right.
Lawrence,
that's the problem.
Somebody will give you $20-$30 to make up for it.
Right.
Stay home and rest.
So this is I don't know that you guys realize, maybe from a historical perspective, how cool it is that you were able to be in the program for all 4 years when it went to a Valley team. I know as freshmen you weren't playing on the varsity team or anything like that, but you were in the program, 4 title games in 4 years and possibly 3 championships. I mean, Rudy, have you let that sink in at all yet, how special this run is?
I haven't let it sink in yet. Not quite yet. I'm just seeing it as one game at a time and to go win another championship, God willing.
I mean, look at it. You guys are one of 4 programs in the Central Section history out of 5 times. BHS did it from 1920 to 1929. Did it again from 1935 to 1939. Kingsburg did it in the 1950s, and Dos Palace, Steve, I think you remember that team in the late 90s, 97 to 2001, that went to 5-state. And now you guys. I mean, historically in the Central Section, what you guys are on right now, what you guys are able to do, be a part of, is really something special. Timmy, do you kind of, you don't take this for granted? Are you kind of going into Friday going, wow, this is really something special? Because everybody else hasn't been, there are guys that haven't been playing football for over a month, and now here you are in December still strapping on the pads.
Yeah, it's definitely a familiar feeling, but it's something that even in the future when I end up coming back to Ridgeview in 5 years or something, and they're still going to be winning, and it'll be a good feeling knowing that, oh, no, we started this, and we were there to witness the beginning of this.
Right.
Yeah, that's very cool. Coach, on defense, I remember last year in the Rev game when some of the assistants up in the box would say, it's a big down, get Lawrence in there, that sort of thing. How do you decide how to split snaps among these guys who play both ways? I mean, you got to keep them fresh, but you want them in there as much as possible too.
It's basically situational and a game plan. Lawrence this year, we've started him on defense, which we didn't do last year, and we sub him in when he needs a break on defense. Timmy, the same way, he and Chase alternate on defense, but usually it's a game plan depending on who we're playing and what we need out of our defense.
Timmy, are you able to be honest and say, hey, I need a blow? I mean, take me out for a play, or does that never happen?
No, I would never say that.
You want to.
Never take yourself out of a game, right?
No.
He's usually saying, I'm ready to go back in.
Yeah.
Is it fair to characterize your defense as sort of the big play, risk-taking defense? It seems like you will surrender the big play in exchange for making an even bigger play later at times.
At times, it may look that way, but
it's not the intent.
It's not the intent, but yeah, it happens. I mean, we're a get after you defense. We're going to get pressure, and occasionally that'll bite us. But we have a good little young safety, Damone DeGraffenried, who's able to make up for some of our mistakes. Yep. And so, but yeah, we're an aggressive defense. I would say a lot of times those big plays that wasn't intentional. But if you look at me on the sideline, you can tell that it wasn't intentional. But I wouldn't say by plan we're not a high risk defense.
Right. Just
but
sort of happens.
But you've got a lot of confidence in your secondary, obviously.
We have great confidence.
And then having Thomas Spanhauer back at linebacker helps out a lot too. But when you've got shutdown corners, like you said, with Prevost and with Lawrence and Christian Brown back there also, and Damone, I mean, it's one of those things where Timmy, I mean, you guys will sit here and you'll rush the quarterback knowing that there's nobody in that 10 to 15 zone, and you're just allowing those guys to make plays because you have the confidence in them. Way to go, Zach.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, you're off the rails, my friend.
But I mean, being able to have that, Timmy, you like knowing that as you guys are rushing, that you have the confidence in the secondary and the linebackers, to have your back.
Oh yeah, it gives you more time to get to the quarterback and more confidence that you're gonna have that time to get there.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what, we're gonna take our first break, and we'll come back with more from Ridgeview's Coach Steve Tucker, Tim Lelea, and Rudy Alas?
Yes, sir.
Got it. All right, we'll be back with him. Now that I know his name and I got it down right, we'll be back right after this on BVarsity Live.